Hey everybody, glad to have you with me for this video. It's going to be a full face of makeup from QVC, and I'm really excited about this because I personally, unless there's like one certain thing that I've heard about or had my eye on and I know it's going to be available there, I feel like I haven't been super in tune with the QVC beauty world lately. And when you start looking around on their website, you can see they've introduced a lot of new brands, even some brands that are commonly sold elsewhere like Too Faced and Urban Decay. But they've also got a lot of brands that are exclusively at QVC that you really don't see anywhere else. And I got curious looking around and I asked on Twitter several weeks ago probably, what brands are you curious about from QVC? And you guys told me, I went after it, and now I'm here. The interesting thing about their shipping process though is that you can do a haul, so to speak, from QVC, and your stuff is gonna come at all different times in different packages. Like some things came right away, some things came just a few days ago. One thing I believe is lost, and I'm gonna have to talk to customer service about that. Oh, that coffee is going down good today. I'm so excited. Bub gets home today. He's been in Vegas for the last couple of days. He was speaking at a conference there, some kind of legal related conference, and I guess his talk went really well, so that's good. But I miss him and I get lonely in the evenings, and when I get lonely, I tend to want to online shop. So I've already got my moisturizer and sunscreen and all that stuff on today, and I'm gonna jump in and start with foundation. And this is a stick foundation from Christopher Buckle, and he is a celebrity makeup artist. I believe works with like Mariah Carey quite a bit, but what I got from his line was this duo of products, the Power Lock Makeup Setting Spray and the Triplicity Perfecting Foundation Stick in Light. And Christopher wins for the products that got here the fastest, so I've been playing with this the longest, which is kind of appropriate, I think, because foundations kind of take me a while to wrap my head around exactly what it's doing for me. Is it breaking me out in any way? And I'm really happy to say this is one heck of a stick foundation, people. Can you see the little dot in the middle, or have I worked too much foundation over it? It was very evident when I first got this that this had a little foundation nipple in the middle of it, and this claims to prime, blur, and cover. Sorry, I didn't want to mess that up. So that's why it's called Triplicity, and I think that little core is supposed to be kind of a blurring, priming type of deal. So I sweep this on, and I've kind of learned that I don't need quite as much as I think I do with this. A little goes a long way. It goes on so creamy. This is probably the product that goes on as creamy as my Makeup Revolution stick, but I have a little better staying power with this. Makeup Revolution stick is nice and it's a really good price point, but I kind of feel like it needs to be babied in the sense that I've got to set it really, really well. This I can just kind of set lightly, but it's so creamy. This tone is just a little bit yellow, this light shade, but the coverage, my God, oh, it is so good. Talk about a surprise out of the gate though. Like, I mean, this was the first product that arrived at my door from my haul, and I just absolutely love this. I think dry skin would love this, but I don't think combo skin should fear this, you know what I mean? It may vary person to person as to how much you feel like you need to set this with some powder or whatever, but I love the little bit of moisture content that's in this product. It's kind of the look that I got from the Revolution stick, which I thought was the ultimate in freshness. This isn't quite as dewy as that. Creamy as all get out, but yet it's not a real staying power concern because it looks really good on me all day. I even wore this yesterday in the rain. Like, I definitely got rained on and I looked good still at the end of the day in my foundation. This is just my Sephora Pro Mini Flawless Airbrush, but that coverage, y'all, loving. And to touch the skin, there's a slight bit of creaminess, like you can tell something's there, but it's not sticky and you don't really feel like you're at risk of a lot of transferring off, you know? And this is a brand that I haven't even heard spoken about on YouTube yet, but I think this is top notch. I'm gonna go in with concealer for the purpose of, addressing another kind of product in this video, but this stick is pretty buildable. It tackled my little, melasma remnants pretty well. And I do get the blurring thing, because when I look up close, like at my nose, for example, with some other foundations that feel this creamy, I would have a little more reflective quality happening on the tip of my nose, but here it looks sort of mattified, but none of my skin looks dry, and overall, I feel like it's a very natural skin-like thing. Natural matte might be the best description of this, but awesome. Now for concealer, there's a brand called Dull 10 from QVC, and that was the brand that on Twitter most of you were wondering about. And so I ordered like a foundation concealer combo, and that was the thing that must have gotten lost. Like, I don't know where it is. I've got other things though. My entire eye look is from Dull 10. But that little duo that I ordered, they said it shipped like well over a week ago and it's still not here. So I have another concealer that is sold on QVC on hand here that I have had now and been using on and off for between 1 and 2 months. And it's the Josie Maran Vibrancy Argan Oil Full Coverage Concealer. And I remember saying when I first showed this in a video, I was like, this is really nice. I think it's gonna definitely stay in my rotation of concealers, and it has. I use it on and off all the time. I got a little something right there. I really like the texture of it. It's definitely non-drying, but it's not like quite as thick and sticky as the Tarte Maracuja Creaseless Concealer, which I'm not knocking whatsoever because I think that's a brilliant and wonderful concealer, especially for the under eye area. But I think I feel a bit more free with this Josie Maran to kind of use it all over the face. I'm having issues in my inner corner of my eye area right now, so just allow me to work through that. But the shade Fair is kind of nicely brightening on me, wouldn't you say? Kind of up a notch from where the foundation is. And I really like how softening it feels to my skin. Like, I don't feel like a dewy, sticky mess on my under eye, but I feel really soft, and I feel like I've just put on a really nice moisturizing treatment almost. For the last 2 days, I have been specifically testing these two together, and I think they are a good pair. Another thing that I can tell you for sure with this Argan Oil Full Coverage Concealer, the Vibrancy, is that it does not prompt a smudginess on my lower lash line from my eye makeup, which is definitely something to consider because I take my concealer all the way up in there, right? I like to take it all the way to my lash line. And some might wonder if a formula like this that is kind of hydrating would make things move and run, and it really doesn't. So there's sort of my base, and I'm very happy with it. Now, something I kind of overlooked in my big old haul here was something to set the under eye with. Just a little bit of light powder. I've got another powder that I want to use all over the face, but in terms of just something light and kind of colorless for the under eye, I had to look into my own stash. And guess what? They are selling the all-nighter waterproof setting powder on QVC from Urban Decay right now. And this works great. You know, it's not a real thick powder. It's not gonna cake on a whole lot, but I can just use this with my e.l.f. small tapered brush and just give myself a little better locked in staying power. Just here on the under eye area and kind of around the nose, T-zone. It's a good powder, it's mattifying, I like it. Not the most unique thing in the world. There are other powders out there that I think do what this does, but as far as translucent pressed powders go, it's pretty darn good. Aren't we getting along so well, you guys? I mean, this has been a really pleasant experience so far. My next thing is my all-over powder, and I got this Baked Balance and Glow Illuminating Foundation from Laura Geller. It looks like this. Normally Laura Geller's baked foundation is called Balance and Brighten, but this is the Baked Balance and Glow, and it's called Foundation and Highlighter in One. How do we feel about that, guys? Your favorite baked foundation swirled with ribbons of our signature baked highlighter. I just realized I still have yellow paint on my finger from the pumpkin painting in Belle's class yesterday. I volunteered at the fall party and things got messy. A luxurious combination that color corrects, brightens, and illuminates for flawless glowing skin in a single step. Well, I don't agree with all that. I do agree that this is much more glowy than your standard Balance and Brighten foundation, and I have this in Fair. Interesting thing here, I have owned this foundation in the past. I think I might have gotten it as part of a kit, and I got it in medium, which I found to be much too dark. And occasionally I will reach for that as a borderline like bronzer type product, but I've never owned it in the proper shade. I do think it runs a little dark, so Fair is the color that works best for me. And if you swatch this, there is definitely some glow in that product. Sheared out, not so concentrated, that glow obviously diminishes a little bit. And my thought is this is a beautiful, slightly illuminating powder foundation, but it's not the coverage level of the regular Balance and Brighten. I don't think it's even really close to it. It's the coverage of a standard pressed powder with a little extra glow in it, and it makes the skin look good, and it does set it, kind of pulls everything together with sort of a natural finish. So I enjoy it, and I think I'm going to be using it a lot in a sort of set the foundation type of capacity because it's great for that. And feel free to chime in the comments section on this, but I don't feel like this has a lot of coverage, and I don't think it really holds a candle to normal Balance and Brighten in that way. But for what it is, I dig it, and I'm like enjoying my entire complexion right now. This next product wins the award for the last thing to come in, and this is the Vibrancy Argan Oil Fresh Face Paint Palette from Josie Maran. And I got it a little smudgy because, you know, oils. I was very intrigued when I saw this on QVC's site. I hadn't seen this anywhere else. Let's see, they've labeled this as a highlight and this is a highlight, this as a flush, and this is a sculpting shade. They're infused with argan oil, but as I watched the little presentation online, they were really making the point that they are built for staying power too. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this sculpt shade, actually a little bit of that with my Sigma F84, and I'm gonna kind of work that around my hairline a little bit. It might seem kind of counterintuitive, this combination of products, because here I've gone and gotten myself kind of set, so to speak, but I think a light amount of the products from this palette will give my skin a lot of natural radiance. So I'm just picking up a little bit. And you can totally use your fingers with this palette, because when it immediately came in, that's what I just started doing. I popped it open, I just dug right in, and I started putting on the blushes, cream blush, and these can all be lip colors too, so it's really kind of neat. It looks like they've made it so these pans can pop out. I'm not sure if they're planning to launch like tons of shades maybe in this kind of line so you can make your own palette or something. I'm gonna use a little bit of the fresh pink, and yes, I'm just gonna stick with the brush that I have. There's a lot of pop in this pink shade. Blends really easily as far as cream blushes go. Dabbing it right in there. Now the texture of my skin still doesn't seem too terribly changed, which is surprising, although I'm applying this product pretty lightly. And if anybody's shouting at me about applying a cream product right on top of powders that I've applied, I do this all the time. And the best cream blushes don't care. They go on just fine on top of a powder. And usually everything will just kind of mesh and be kind of easy. And I was wearing a combo of that pink and the more neutral shade on my lips last night, and it was awesome. The texture of these though, they are slick. Okay, once they kind of blend out into your skin, you're not gonna have a real grease ball feel, but I don't know if this would be the best thing for oily skin people. You know, you might wanna stick to a powder blush palette or something like that. I'm gonna go into this goldeny, glowy shade. I don't wanna undo all my nice coverage. I don't feel like I am. Maybe a little bit of this too. That shade's interesting. That's more like a glowy blush to me, this one right here. I feel very fresh. I feel like the highlighter products in here are a super subtle glow, and perhaps I could layer that stuff on till the cows come home and then I would be glowing a ton, but I just don't want to do that, and I don't want to risk my staying power, because anytime I've used this, I've done it in a pretty light capacity, and that's worked for me. Next up, we've got this big thing of setting spray here. This is 7.4 fluid ounces, and it's again from the Christopher Buckle line, so this came in a duo with the foundation stick, and it's called Power Lock Makeup Setting Spray. I've been using this as long as I've had the foundation. It's a nice mist. It's a really nice scent. A little bit, what am I smelling there? I'm just gonna keep spraying my face until I figure it out. There's something a little bit fruity about it, I'm thinking, but it fades pretty fast, and I'm not quite sure if this is the thing that's like helping my staying power lately. This is what I've been using. I've had good staying power, but I also think it might be the effect of the foundation stick, making sure I set it, and just having a good experience that way. So I'm not quite sure on this yet. It takes me a really long time to pin down the exact effects of a makeup setting spray. But you know how there are some that I've talked about, like the Makeup Revolution Hyaluronic Fix, the Hard Candy Sheer Envy Primer Mist? Those are setting sprays where I put them on my skin and there's sort of an immediate dewiness, and I don't really see that with this product. This is more along the lines of like Urban Decay All Nighter and D-Slick, in that yes, you've just misted your face. It may help in taking away the look of a powdery appearance here and there, but you don't look super dewy as a result of the mist. Now we're actually gonna do a little lip treatment here that I got. I'm so excited about this. I've never ever had anything from Sarah Happ before, the lip expert, and so I got the lip scrub pumpkin spice latte, and it came in a little set with the lip airbrush and also the lip slip. This says 1 Luxe Gloss. So this is my scrub. It's a really big tub. I think this is gonna last me a while. It smells good. It smells lightly sweet. I'm not sure if I would really pick out the pumpkin spice in this if it was just like a blind scent test. It ain't Mama's pumpkin pie, but It's pleasant. And so you got this gritty kind of seemingly sugar scrub. I kind of swore off of this type of product for a while because I love my e.l.f. exfoliating lip balm sticks. The e.l.f. lip exfoliators, they're amazing, and it takes your finger out of the equation, you know? And the grit really stays on the stick, so you're not like chasing the grit around your lips like I'm doing right now. But I do feel like this product, when you scoop up just a little bit, you have plenty, but you still kind of have that feeling like I rub. Okay, where's the grittiness now? Oh, it's over here. Now I gotta smooth it in there. But on Halloween night, I was Scarecrow and I did a really dark lip. I used a matte liquid lipstick from Tarte, and my lips were so dry after taking that off, like unbelievably dry. And then I made sure to use this first thing in the morning the next day, and I thought it actually made a world of difference. Now I think I'm done with scrubbing, and I'm gonna just wipe clean. Don't you love how your lips look right after you scrub them? Like, look at the rosiness. That's not leftover lip color, that's just, I scrub my lips and I don't know, there's blood flow again. If my lips could look like that all day, I mean, I don't know if I'd cover them up with anything. But this thing is really neat. This Plump and Prime lip airbrush. I have never used anything that feels like this before. It's kind of thick. It feels actually like the texture of some pore filling primers that you might put on your face, like that Tatcha disc or whatever that you might put on your face. Think of it like a line filling primer for your lips, because my lips will look so smooth and pillowy after this step. So what I kind of come away with is that, yes, the lip scrub was a good experience, but I still kind of prefer scrubbing my lips with a stick. But this step here is kind of next level. Like, I don't have anything that does what this does. This does feel creamy on the lips, but the main function of this is that my lips are smoothed the heck out. Like, I can't see any lines in them at all. It's like, hi, I'm a fresh newborn, I have perfect lips. They say use it after the lip scrub daily. You put on a generous amount of this velvety plumping primer onto the lips. Your lips are now instantly full, hydrated, primed, and airbrushed. Wear alone, as a perfectly sheer nude, or with a color, which will last longer than you've ever imagined. I gotta tell you, I need to test this more under different lip products, but I am gonna put on a little bit of the lip slip right now. So this is kind of like the glossy finishing touch that just came in this set. And the first time I ever did this, I just thought my lips looked so smooth and so even. This claimed to have kind of a plumping benefit. I will tell you, I don't feel any actual effect. I'm really not sensing a tingle or anything. The most profound thing was that it just smoothed out absolutely everything on the lips. And then the One Luxe gloss here, the lip slip, that's just kind of like your shiny top coat if you want to stick to the whole process, you know, but I think you could apply anything on top of this primer. Now, my friends, we've got a lot of things from Dalton. Again, this was the brand that a lot of people were interested in seeing me try, and I went with an eye set that came with an eye palette, the brow product, the eyeliner, and a mascara. Although on this day I may use a different mascara because I also got a new Mally one. But this is the brow product. It's called Dalton Arch Master. And I think the story behind the name of this line is the thought that you can get dolled up in 10 minutes with any of the products. And the creator of the brand is Doris Dalton. Now, this is a 3-part brow tool. Haven't really ever seen anything quite like this before, and it's in a universal shade. So your brow pencil is a twist up stick. It is a very skinny, very short rectangular shape. Then you twist, and you've got kind of this spring-loaded little brow powder here coming off of a sponge tip. So you can use any combination of these steps, or you can use all the steps. And the last one says volumize, and this is your tinted gel with a skinny, teeny tiny brush, kind of like that L'Oreal Boostin' set that I love so much. So this stuff is really kind of doing it for me. And I would like to know in the comments how you guys feel about universal, quote unquote, brow products, because they end up being kind of a cool taupey shade. And a lot of times if you watch like a QVC presentation, you know, IT Cosmetics Brow Power is kind of like this too. They'll talk about applying a little more pressure or building it up just a little bit more to get a darker look, or blondes and people with light hair can use it a little softer and it'll work for them too. How do they actually work for you guys? Because for me, I feel like they often work fine because I am not starting from scratch here. Like, I'm not having to look at this tone standing alone on my eyebrows, because look how much brow hair I already have. In a fill-in capacity, just filling in small areas, it looks fine on me. I love the texture of it as well. It's not too creamy. I hate feeling like my brow hairs are getting gooped up. And yeah, the fill-in is pretty quick. But you know what I'm saying about that, like, if you've got a lot of existing brow hair, I think a universal shade can be really good, but I want to hear from those of you who have hardly any brow, and when you start from scratch with a color like this, does it make sense on your face? Normally I don't like the really thick pencils, like really big tips, but this isn't super big. It's a very fine, as I drop it, it's a very fine, like skinny mini rectangular shape. I guess what you don't have with this is the bare spoolie, but I haven't really missed it, to be honest. I love having that tinted cream gel mascara thing to go through them with. It's a dark and stormy morning out there, my friends, by the way. I'm hearing wind, I'm hearing rain. Okay, then for just, you know, what the heck's sake, I'm gonna go in and kind of set with a little bit of that powder. And the other day I tried just going from the start with the powder because I watched a presentation and they were saying like, oh, for a soft, like really quick look, just use the powder step. On my brows, I didn't notice a lot of effect from doing that, but after going over the pencil with it, like they just feel different. They feel a little more locked in place. And then we'll take this little gel and just go over it for all day hold. Love a tinted gel as well because it just kind of, I don't know, it evens out what you've done. I really love that that's in here, but I don't have anything that combines these three particular steps, so I think that's really cool. Then I'm gonna prime my lids. Why these super sets that come with like 5 pieces don't also include some sort of eye primer is beyond me, but I'm just gonna use some of my Urban Decay anti-aging because we're almost done, my friends. We've almost squeezed it dry. And I am very excited to use this eyeshadow palette for you. Some of my foundation kind of creases there, but this step will always take away whatever's creased in your eyelid. And I know that you know if something's not working for me, I will definitely tell you about it, but this has been a pretty good experience overall for me. The thing I feel like it's lacking a little bit is the tone of the blush. Like, I don't know, I was holding myself back a little bit. I feel like I want more blush on, but I don't want to apply too much cream blush, you know? We'll see at the end, maybe I'll go in and add a little more, but this is the Doll 10 Master Palette that came in this eye product set, and here's what we have. There's a lot of like, I don't know, gradient feel, light to dark going through here. You can see different color tones you could stick with, a little bit warmer brown, a little cooler brown, something ultimately going toward a berry type look, and then really cool smoky. The textures of these shadows, they're very nice. They're super soft. You've got mattes, you've got shimmers, you've got satin finishes, although nothing is super loud on the shimmery end. Frankly, any shimmer that you see in this palette, if you wanted to take it to your crease and just sort of buff it out there, it wouldn't look super shimmery. So for those of you who generally go for a matte palette or steer clear of an ultra shimmery look, I think you'll enjoy this. From the presentation I watched, they talked about how it's meant to be a real eye brightening palette. I'm gonna swatch a couple of the most shimmery colors I can find. And you see how there's still kind of a softness to these? Those are the most shimmery shades in the palette. There are a couple of different ways you gotta look at this. I don't look at this palette and think, oh my gosh, this is my ideal palette, this is the most gorgeous palette of life, because I like my pops, you know? I like the things that are coming out of my once palette, or like that gingerbread spice palette from Too Faced. You name it, I kind of like a little interest coming in. However, what's the audience for this? Who is this for? This might be more for the person who might want to go a little lighter or darker some days, but never wants to take it over the top from a color standpoint. In that respect, I think this could be a very useful palette. The textures are beautiful, very easy to blend, and very good staying power as well. But after using this palette for a little while now, something I do come away feeling is that I don't think it maybe had to be quite as big as it is, because there are some shades that are very close within the palette, you know? Just a few spots here and there where there's like hardly any difference. And on one hand, maybe that helps people blend when they're like, okay, I'm just gonna work a little bit away from this shade with this color, and it's an easier jump, you know, to go between two really close shades. I'm just throwing that out there as something to think about. I've done kind of a neutral look. I've done a neutral like combo in with some of these berry type colors. I've done a whole berry look. Today I think I might go with some of these cooler things. I'm wearing gray, it might work. I'm gonna start out on the bottom row here with this kind of mauvey pinky shade and just get that going in the crease. This is a matte. When you put your brush into the shadows, you sometimes see a little, just a little powder kicking up, but not a lot, which is really impressive for as soft as the shadows actually feel to the touch. I think you would almost expect to have more stuff kicking up, but you don't. So really easy crease color here, hint of mauve. Use my Sigma E25 for that. Using my Sigma E40 Bare just for a little blending. And then I think I'll use some of this color with some shimmer. So we have like a shimmery highlight, and then we also have a couple of tones of matte, kind of creamy highlights. One's a little deeper than the other. But again, the shimmers are soft. It's not a loud, shimmery palette by any stretch of the imagination. Now I'm kind of intrigued by this cool gray here. It almost looks a little blue. This will be my first time using this color, but I think it only looks a little blue because of everything surrounding it, because I think it is more of just a true gray. Overall, the palette is really quite cool because your warmest stuff, like you have a couple things that make me think kind of rose gold here, but I think the cool eyeshadow lovers should take note. Okay, so I've got that over most of the lid, leaving a little gap on the end. And then I'm going to go to the shade right next door, which is kind of a charcoal color with a little shimmer. And I'm just going to bring that in from the outside. Guys, this might be my favorite color combo I've worked with yet. That's nice. And there's a nice black in here too, and it's kind of a soft black. It's not a difficult like black that's going to cling and pull. Like, it's really good. I am feeling it. I'm loving this look. Now I'm just taking like my little outer corner brush. It's just the Morphe. Oh, this is the MUA one. I go between an MUA and a Morphe. They're like the exact same size and shape, so I literally don't even know the difference when I put it on my eye. But I don't have any product on the brush right now. I'm just kind of moving around what got into my outer corner and just shaping the look a bit more. And just a little more of that charcoal right in here. And then we're going to carry that shade, that same color that I love, right down here to the lower lash line. And maybe I'll blend with a little bit of just the matte looking gray too. Then we will go back to our little highlight shade. This is the one in the palette with some shimmer. And I'm going to dab this around the inner corner just to brighten up that space a little more. As a finishing step, I'm going to go back to that little gentle mauve color that we started things out with in the crease. And I'm just going to let that come up over the edge again. Like, I don't know if I actually took it up this far initially, but I like the finish that it gives to my blending here. Grays aren't always, I don't know, the easiest. And I'm talking just generally speaking. Sometimes it can be hard to really get that natural look from them, but I think really working with your transition-y type colors, of which there are quite a few to choose from in this palette, really getting your edges buffed out with natural colors like that might be a little warmer, a little rosier, can really help your look all come together. I'm going to use a little bit of my Urban Decay Black Market eyeliner. Didn't like buy this as part of the haul. This came with the cherry set, but I'm going to put some of that in my lower inner rim today, just because I'm feeling those smoky vibes. When I do liner in my lower inner rim, I also kind of dot it in between my lashes. Folks, it's the old dot and smudge. You dot it on, and then you take your bare smudgy brush and just go over it a little bit. Nothing looks stark, just smoky. And I feel like they want everything in this brand to do more than one thing, because look at the eyeliner. It's called To The Point. You've got a brush tip liner and then an even tinier felt tip liner. So like you can make your wings and everything ultra precise, I guess, or just to really hit the little crevices that are hard to reach. But I've had good staying power with this. I think it goes on really easily, just like my other brush tip liners. I mean, brush tip pens are where it's at. They lay down the color so finely. So I'm just going across my upper lash line here with this. I think I will wing it out. I feel like this is plenty easy. I'm not sure I need to go in with the smaller tip right now. But yeah, you guys know how I feel about brush tip liner pens. I mean, they're welcome here. Now the mascara from this line, it's called Effort Lash, and I was not a huge fan of this. It's a rubber bristle brush with super duper short bristles and even a few, as you can maybe see, coming out around the tip. I didn't feel like it was a real big lash look, more of just a natural lash look. Oh my gosh, I forgot the brush. There is a legit good double-ended brush that comes with that eyeshadow. One is kind of a pack it on your lid type side. One very easily fits into the crease. I used this the first couple times I used this palette, but I forgot it today, but that's completely good and usable. Reminds me so much of the feel and just kind of the way the IT Cosmetics brushes are actually. I also forgot that I want to take a little bit of my black here and blend it down under my wing. Blend that a little with the pencil brush. You know, one thing I'm really excited about? Bub's gonna come home and we're gonna be able to watch Friday Night Lights again, because I definitely didn't watch it without him while I was gone. Yay! The other mascara that I purchased that I am going to use is my Mally Volumizing Extreme Mascara. So this is said to be the glamorous big sister to the original Mally Volumizing, because they kept the white tube and then they put this little splash of pink at the end for the Extreme. And I love the Volumizing. I really think Volumizing has been Mally's best mascara. This, I don't know if they made it blacker. The brush seems kind of similar to original Volumizing, but it doesn't like build up super fast on my eyes. I noticed that immediately. Like it'll eventually take you there lengthwise and thickness wise, but it doesn't build up super fast like a NARS Climax or an IT Cosmetics Superhero. But I do like it. I'm just kind of struggling to put my finger on what the big difference is between this and original Volumizing, because I thought that one was great. My only thought is as I take the brush out of the tube, it seems really extra super black. And I'm going to use a little bit of Old Faithful here on the lower lashes, CoverGirl Clump Crusher Water Resistant, just because I want my look to last all day. Not that the Mally wouldn't work there, but I'm just not sure about it yet. And as I was saying earlier, it is a dark and stormy morning here. I need all the help I can get. So from the moment I put black liner in my lower inner rim, I knew this was going a dramatic direction. So I popped on some falsies as well. These are my Salon Perfect Silk Noir 652s. I love the shape, I love the length, and it just fits so well when it's a winged liner look. Also, I just now kind of forgot that I was shooting a video, and I popped some of this shade just with my finger right on the apples of the cheeks to add a little more color, and I might pop a little more pink too. Need more blush, what can I say? I went very lightly with it at first. Obviously wore it over the time it took me to do my eyes and lips and stuff. Determined that I wasn't gonna feel like a complete grease ball, and now I'm adding a little more. That's nice, I'm happy with that. And then I'm gonna leave my whole Sarah Haps situation on my lips intact and take some of the pink over that. So it's just kind of giving that gloss a little more tint. Oh, that's fresh. I think I'm gonna mix in a little bit of the more neutral shade too. That's how to make it Dusty Rose, my friends, immediately. Oh, I did that combo last night and just loved it. My battery's about to run out. I went and let my battery charge long enough so I could give my little wrap up here, but I feel like I had such an amazing experience with so many of these products. It was fun to dig in and discover different brands. And by the way, with Dalton, before getting that name, it was just called Dalton. And do you remember a product called Conceal It Concealer? I think they still make that stuff, but that was a fantastic concealer. I should have repurchased that. I don't know why that just popped into my head, but I mean, there are some brands here, like I've used a lot of Mally over the years, Josie Maran stuff, love her skincare as well. So there were some more familiar things mixed in and then some new stuff. And as you know, this was by no means first impressions. This is stuff that I've really gotten a feel for, but what are the biggest essentials here? This Christopher Buckle foundation stick is absolutely outstanding. To me, I think the big old thing of setting spray is probably an added bonus, but this is one of my favorite things out of everything I used. Also, this is the entire Dalton set, and I got that for, I think, around 50 bucks for an entire 24 color eyeshadow palette and all these other full-sized extras like the brow thing, which I thought was fascinating. The double-ended liquid liner for someone who loves liquid liners, that's amazing. I didn't love the mascara, but I didn't hate it. Mascaras are a very individual thing, but the double-ended brush too. The palette itself, I mean, ask yourself, am I needing overall kind of tame looks for the most part? Am I wanting a palette that has some differing textures, but none of the shimmers go too far? Do you like to go a little bit cooler and not super orangey red with the warmth level? You might really love this. With every look I've done, the shadows have been very easy to blend. I love this plummy shade right over here. This kind of rose gold color is another star of the palette, I think. But perhaps one of the most brilliant products I tried, I think, is that 3-in-1 brow tool that also incorporates the tinted gel. I mean, come on. I've really been enjoying my Vibrancy concealer. This was something I actually got from Sephora, but I worked it into this look because it's also a QVC available product. And like I said, one of the things I ordered kind of fell through, so I had to pull it together. If you want to really help out dry under eyes, but not get too goopy with your coverage, this is a beautiful product. My Laura Geller Baked Balance and Glow, I don't think this is powder foundation coverage level, but it's nice in terms of a natural, borderline glowy looking powder. The Sarah Haps stuff, completely new to this line. This is the first stuff I've ever tried from her brand, and I think she's got some quality things going on, but I think the most fantastic part of everything was that plump and prime. I've never really seen anything like that, and after the lip scrub, which you could sub in the e.l.f. lip exfoliator for $3, but after that step, you put this on and everything was so smooth. I like this Lip Slip Luxe Gloss, and And what I ended up doing, as you saw, I just brought in some of the color from the Vibrancy palette to sort of give everything a little more tint. This palette, like I said, it's the newest thing to me from everything I've tried, and it's gonna require some more playtime, honestly, for me to give you a real verdict here, because I think it's kind of tricky. I do think it might be a real good dry skin person option, but I was kind of wanting a little more glow out of the highlighters. I thought the blush was nice. I do like this shade too, and I like the ability to mix those and kind of tone one down with the other, but it sort of took a lot of application of product to build up to the blush look that I wanted. So to be continued on this guy. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. QVC carries tons of beauty brands. We may need a round two, because even since placing my order there, I kept getting more and more tweets of some other ideas. So seriously, any requests you have, any products you're interested in, let me know in the comments section below, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye.